If you're interested in housing, you have undoubtedly seen a scary chart that talks about home prices and household incomes. In this very scary chart, it shows some really frightening numbers that basically says housing is out of control based on income. I have proposed, I have thought, I have feared that that chart was purporting an incomplete story because again, I believe most folks don't buy houses for cash. Most of us go out and get a mortgage. And if you are going to get a mortgage, you will undoubtedly have an interest rate. That interest rate will then purport a payment. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go back to 1970. I wanted to go to the St. Louis Fed. I wanted to collect data on median home price, median household income, and median interest rate for each and every year since 1970. Once I have that, I could purport to generate my own graph of home prices to income, seeing if I can recreate the scary chart. And then second, I could take the same logic and then calculate what it is based on payment. The reason I wanted to do this is because the scary chart really purports to show that 2020 and 2021 were horrible years to buy homes based on price and income. I believe that is fundamentally wrong and inaccurate, as I believe most folks don't pay cash, they have a payment. But I didn't know. I have never seen the chart looking at payment. So what I'm going to do today is, after taking data from St. Louis Fed, which is all sourced from my 53-year spreadsheet, which we give away, I have recreated both graphs, and I will let you check them out here. Let me share my screen, and we will get into it. So hopefully you can see that now. The first thing I'm looking at is my attempt at recreating median price to income. And this is a very simple mathematical equation. It takes the median homes price in 1970, which you see on the screen as 23,475. It then divides by household income, which is $9,867. Just so you know, all the sources, if you wanted to, you can get the links, are all over here at fred.stlouisfed. So you can get all this data and recreate it for yourself if you are so inclined. As you can see from this chart, it is very clear that home prices have accelerated much faster than incomes. This is really the anchor of the scary charts. It's basically trying to tell you that home prices need to crash because incomes are not keeping up. I believe that is fundamentally flawed and incomplete because, again, you and I don't buy houses with cash. So instead, I purport that you should do a similar graph and take median home price of a home and income, take income and your payment. So again, in this case, we would take row 3, which is household income. We would then calculate a monthly payment, which we then calculate into a yearly payment by multiplying by 12. And now we see that this chart is very different. Just to orient yourself, the lower the number, in this case, the least affordable the market is. So you can see here we have bottomed out in 1981. 1981 was the worst year to buy a home. If we go back to this calculation, where is 1981? 1981 is here. It's a 3. In this chart, again, price to income, you would think that 1981 was an okay year to buy a home. It frankly was a horrible year. This is why a median home price to income chart is so baffling, so incomplete, and has spun up so many people with inaccurate and incomplete information. It purports the wrong story. 1981 was not a good year to buy a home. In fact, it was a horrible year to buy a home. Going back here, you can see since 1981, we have been on a 40-year track record of lowering interest rates. Here you can see that actually in, what would it be, 2020? 2020 was actually the best year to buy a home. I will say that again. 2020 was the best year to buy a home. What about that pretty chart that you've been scared of? What did 2020 say? 2020 said basically it was a 4 and it was at one of the highest numbers. Again, folks, these charts are meant to scare you and they are inaccurate. 2020 was not a bad year to buy a home, just like 1981 wasn't a good year to buy a home. You are being fooled, you are being tricked, you are being misled by an incomplete picture. Housing is based on affordability. It is price, it is income, and it is interest rates. If you are only using 2 of the 3 metrics to scare people, are you really helping people? Are you misleading them? Are you getting richer with every click by misleading your followers? I don't know. But again, folks, if you want to really know what's going on with housing, it is all about payments. Again, the worst year to buy a home in the last 50 years was 1981. The best year to buy a home was 2020. Folks, don't be fooled by the charlatans with great graph skills and pretty colors. Understand the complete economic picture, and you will have a better handle on what is going on in the market. I hope this helps. Again, I give away this spreadsheet. You can do the math yourself. You can recreate these charts. Again, all of this data is sourced. You can recreate this chart. By all means, go nuts. We should be concerned about payment, not price and income. 1981 was the worst year. 2020 was the best year. If your chart doesn't say that, you're misleading people. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.